if this is the wave of the future, if you can get Xbox games on PC, on PlayStation, on Nintendo, why do you need an Xbox?
Video games, video games, video games, video games.
I play a lot of Xbox, right? It's kind of tiny. I don't think you can see, but like I have a gamer score of almost 200,000, which shows you how much Xbox I have played since the 360 days. It has been my number one console. I don't consider myself like an Xbox fanboy. I can't stand that stuff where you choose a side and you hate the other side. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I like Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. In the Xbox 360 PS3 era, I got a 360 first, and that was like my console of choice because that's the one I had first. So I started to play a lot of games on that. I got a PS3 when there was games that were PS3 exclusive that I wanted that I couldn't play on Xbox. So like the Uncharted games, Resistance, Infamous. So that was the reason I got PS3. If those games were on Xbox, I probably would have never got a PS3. When it went to the Xbox One, PS4 generation, I did end up getting both of those. This is guessing, but if I had to say, I'd say time spent 360 to PS3 was probably 80%, 80 to 85% 360, and 15 to 20% PS3. When into the Xbox One and PS4 generation, I would say it probably dropped to like 60-40 Xbox One to PS4. This generation, it's either 50-50 or PS5 might even be slightly ahead. I don't know. So I don't consider myself like a Xbox fanboy by any means. But since the 360 has come out till now, most of my gaming has been done on Xbox. So I have given them a lot of business. I have all their consoles. But lately, it's like they're want to become Sega. I don't know. That's a comparison we've used a few times. We have Xbox games will now be released on PlayStation. We've already had some. Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Xbox exclusive. It's now on PlayStation. All the Bethesda games, right? They bought Bethesda. Call of Duty is an Xbox game. They released that over on, now it is anyway, over on PlayStation. But you look at it from reverse, the PlayStation side, there ain't no PlayStation games coming out on Xbox. There's no Nintendo games coming out on Xbox. So you look at reasons to own things. What is the reason to own an Xbox? And we're going to get into that because I want to talk about this interview that Xbox CEO Phil Spencer did with Rolling Stone. And this is everything we've been talking about here. Every time we bring this up, every time we talk about Xbox and its future, it's all right here. So I think you gotta kind of read between the lines. He said, as we look at the brand, as we're changing the brand, meaning Xbox, it means something different. It literally was a box when it first launched. It was the direct Xbox. What it's grown into now is more accessibility. Xbox isn't just one device. Xbox is on your smart TV. Xbox is on your PC. Xbox is on your phone. And we're in the middle of that transition. And this ridiculousness, Xbox is on your TV, Xbox is on your PC, Xbox is on your phone. This is like their new ad campaign, and I think this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I got the picture here. Hold on. This is an Xbox. Like, this is the thing. So, this is an Xbox. We got a Series X. Series X. This is an Xbox for your lap, and it shows a laptop. Really? That's an Xbox? This is an Xbox that tags along, and we got a handheld. It's supposed to be like a Steam Deck. And then, they're funny. This is a cat box, guys. So you know that that's not an Xbox. That's a cat box. So now your TV is also an Xbox. Your phone but not a bento box, guys. A bento box is not an Xbox. But your remote control is an Xbox on the inside, and your VR, that's an Xbox. And the Series S, this is still an Xbox. I guess that's supposed to be some type of funny thing about the Series S. I have no idea. What's up, Nelso? It's a good convo for me since I plan on getting either Series X or PS5 for Black Friday. Sweet. And I want your guys' thoughts on this. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is this is something we've been talking about for, I don't know, months, right? We bring this up a lot. What's going on with Xbox? Why are there games coming out on PS5? And so I'm like diving into this Rolling Stone interview with Xbox CEO Phil Spencer. So now with this all, Xbox just isn't one device. It's on your TV. It's on your PC. That to me is insane. To me, that's insane. But the article goes on. To his credit, Spencer knows very well that some fans would ultimately be turned off by the campaign, having said that some people long for the simplicity of a single box, single platform, single game, but also noted that today's largest games are bigger than any of the individual platforms. And that right there, I think, is the problem with this entire thing. Today's largest games are bigger than any of the individual platforms. Which ones? The ones that are on all the platforms. Call of Duty is bigger than all the platforms. Why? Because it's on all of the platforms. Let me ask you guys this. Is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild bigger than the Nintendo Switch? Is Astrobot bigger than the PS5? No, because you can't get them anywhere else. So this, to me, makes no sense. The only games that are bigger than the platforms are the ones that are on all the platforms. So those are third-party games. If Xbox wants to go this route and make their games big, then why do you need an Xbox? I'm going to keep asking that a lot. Why do you need an Xbox, right, in the future? Smash Brothers is bigger than Nintendo? Well, without Nintendo, you can't have it. See, that's my point. Like, you can't get, legally, you can't get Smash Brothers Ultimate on PC. You can't get it on PlayStation. You can't get it on Xbox. So, to me, you can't have that without Nintendo, without the Switch. So Spencer goes on. He says, speaking about consoles, Spencer said that he loves that people are buying Xbox hardware, but notes that it isn't a growth market. Our biggest growth in Xbox players is on PC and cloud. I'm sorry. They're not Xbox players then. They're PC players. Yeah, they bought all these other gaming publishers, right? So has that been their strategy all along? And we're going to get to that. Is that their strategy? They're going to just become a publisher now. And that's why they bought all those. You would think when it was happening that they would buy all those publishers. So now that all these games can only be on Xbox and you have to buy an Xbox. But that doesn't seem to be what's going on here. Our biggest growth in Xbox players is on PC and cloud. Those aren't Xbox players. Those are PC players. The console space all up isn't growing across all of them. We love those customers, but in terms of continuing to expand and grow Xbox, it's about PC, it's about cloud, and it's about making our games more available in more places. What does that quote sound like to you guys? In terms of continuing to expand and grow Xbox, it's about PC, it's about cloud, and it's about making our games more available in more places. That sounds like a software company. That sounds like something a software company would say. In all honesty, Phil Spencer has lost it. He's still in shambles over the hard flops that was Redfall and Starfield. I think people would have been more forgiving of Starfield. Think about it from the PlayStation side. The PlayStation fanboys wanted to shit on Starfield because it wasn't on PlayStation. It was an Xbox exclusive. So they had to bury it. It had to be bad. And it's on Game Pass, and they can make fun of Xbox players who don't buy games, right? They only play on Game Pass. I think if Starfield came out on all platforms, I mean, I know it was on PC, but I think if it came out on PS5, I think it would have done better in the eyes of the players. And I think that's what Microsoft is looking at. But when you look at it that way, you're not trying to direct people to your ecosystem. You're trying to bring your games out and everybody else's. Don't want to be that guy, but I told Xbox fanboys that Game Pass is not sustainable. I was always wondering how Call of Duty's on Game Pass. How many of those people would have spent, $70 just on that game plus DLC? That's just one game. They probably would have bought another Xbox game throughout the year, maybe 3. Right there, you buy 3 games, you're paying that's more than you would pay like for Xbox Game Pass all year, isn't it? So yeah, with Game Pass, like I've always wondered how it would be sustainable, but I do think that that's a problem. So now here we are. This sounds like something a software company would say, and then he says, "We'll definitely do more consoles in the future and other devices." We'll definitely do more consoles in the future. That doesn't sound, and other devices. That doesn't sound like, oh yeah, PS6 comes out, we're going to get the next Xbox out. That's just like in the future, very vague. I don't know about this. And he also alluded multiple times to wanting to create a handheld Xbox, and he confirmed that with Bloomberg. What this sounds like to me is they are giving up on competing with the console. And I don't understand this stuff. Listen, if Microsoft is going to go software only and that's a better business plan for them, okay. Then that's what they're doing. But to me, it sounds like they want they're making it sound like they want their cake and eat it too. And I think what they're doing is they're pushing people away from their ecosystem, because you look at PlayStation and he says the console space isn't growing. Really? Look at the Nintendo Switch. I mean, the Nintendo Switch is just proving that wrong. But let's do forget Nintendo. Nintendo's in their own world. They're smashing everybody. But let's look at PlayStation. Astrobot, Rebirth. How many other games? Spider-Man 2. Name all the games that right now you need a PS5 to play. Eventually, they're going to come out on PC, but not when they're new. When you make games only for your console, you are driving people to that, and then you get them to buy more things on there. Exclusives are essential to survival, hence why PlayStation and Nintendo are absolutely killing it. That's what I don't understand with this, El Toro. But I agree with you, El Toro, and that's why I don't understand this unless they're getting out of the console business. How many times has Phil Spencer said that losing the last generation was brutal to them because it was the first digital one and people started building their libraries? It sounds like that's a console defeated attitude. All of this does. All of this sounds like a console defeated attitude. It sounds like they're going the way of Sega, and then they're going to have a handheld. But if they're going to have a handheld, will that really compete with... Would you get that over the Steam Deck? They know they can't compete anymore, so they're going the opposite way to appeal to all types of gaming device users. I think that's what's happening. But just say it. I feel like they're afraid to piss off everybody right now that has the Series X. If they came out right now and said, we're getting out of the console business... We're just going to market our games and make our games, they're going to piss a lot of people off. They're diehards that have been supporting them, since 2001, 2002. Indiana Jones. This is the one that made me think, yeah, they're getting out. Well, there's just speculation like we're speculating. A lot of people think that Xbox is out. And Indiana Jones is like a big, was supposed to be a big exclusive for Xbox, and now they're going to release it on PS5 next year. So that's a big Microsoft-owned game that they're going to put on PS5. So if this is the wave of the future, if you can get Xbox games on PC, on PlayStation, on Nintendo, why do you need an Xbox? You don't. So to me, they need to get out of the console business because I don't understand why they're in it anymore. If Xbox put out amazing freaking games again that you could only get on Xbox, people would buy it. Do you guys actually think if Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is now owned by Microsoft, if that was only on Xbox, how many people would buy an Xbox because they had to play that game? It's like they go through this whole court battle with Sony about monopolies and shit, buying all these things. They win that, and now they're going to give them all the PlayStation anyway. And PlayStation doesn't give Xbox shit. Like, there's a rumor right now that Sony's going to buy From Software, the company that owns From Software. Now, if that happens, do you think any of From Software's games in the future will be on Xbox? And I will bet everything, no. And the reason why I say that is has Bloodborne come to Xbox? Has Demon's Souls come to Xbox? No. And that would be smart for PlayStation because you'd have to buy a PlayStation to play those games. Call of Duty would die if they went Xbox only. Do you think that? You really think that? Like, what do you guys think? Because I don't. I think people are addicted to Call of Duty, and if the new Call of Duty came out only on Xbox, they would buy an Xbox. I believe 100% that they would buy Xboxes to play that game. Because there are people that only play that game, and there's a lot of them. They don't have the franchise exclusives. They used to. Gears of War, Halo, Fable. Those franchises, well, not really Halo. They tried putting one out this generation. It's getting better, but it didn't hit like it used to. Where's all those old classic Rare games? They could bring all that shit back. A while ago, I was dead set on buying a Series X next, but the more time passes, the more PS5 is taking the lead. If I didn't have such a big Xbox library and Game Pass Ultimate, it wouldn't be close. And that right there, those are the major reasons to own an Xbox right now. Your past library. That's why I have one. So if you have a giant library of games for Xbox in the past over PlayStation, you probably would benefit more from having an Xbox. But if you want those games that are only on PlayStation, then you have to get a PlayStation. If you want to play Zelda, you have to get a Nintendo. If you want to play, there's nothing that if you want to play this, you have to get an Xbox. Except for Halo, which he's talking about possibly going. He said that there's no definite no to that going to PlayStation in the future. You imagine Halo on PlayStation? Maybe Xbox should buy Steam. I don't think I don't think they would sell to them. I thought the Game Pass with day one exclusives was a bad idea. I think it is. How many people would buy those games? People would bitch, but if they are diehard, they'd buy it. I agree with that. What failures does Xbox have? Well, recently, Redfall was a major failure. And I don't know the figures, but you would assume that Starfield probably is because everybody played it on Game Pass. The controller is a failure. The Xbox controller. This generation, I like the PS5 controller better than Xbox. I think the 360 controller is one of my favorite controllers ever. But this generation, I think the PS5 has a better controller. They own Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. Hopefully they look at the success of Astrobot as reason. I don't understand, man. Banjo-Kazooie. Like, they got all that stuff. They could be making those games. It's like they buy all this stuff and the franchises just go on hiatus. Xbox can't afford to cut half their profit by being exclusive anymore after all their studio acquisitions. And that's why, if that's the case, Six, I think they just need to come out and say, we're not in the console business anymore. Because I don't know what they're hanging on to, and I think it's just to not piss people off. I think they've given up as far as competing in the console space goes. And that's kind of sad if it's true. I mean, I know a lot of people have migrated to PC, but there's still people that are console players, and I'm one of them. It's expensive to keep your PC up to date to play the games the best. I mean, you fire up some of those PC games, and you look at them, and people spend hours messing with the settings, and then they have to download this and change this setting and get a mod, and well, they don't have enough RAM, or their video card isn't good enough, right? It's money. So for simple people like me that just want to plop in a game and sit on my couch in front of my TV and play, a console's a better option. So it's going to be sad if we're down to two consoles, if it's just Nintendo and PlayStation, in my opinion. I like the competition. I like the options. I like having reasons to get all of them. A new Spyro, Crash, and or Banjo-Kazooie game would be awesome. I think so too. Xbox always second best. Not at first. They were beating PS3. They were beating PS3 until they decided to focus on Kinect. And that was where they began to drop the ball. That was where they began. But they were smoking PS3 at the beginning of that generation. Everybody had Xboxes. Not many people had PS3s. And then it started to change because they started to focus on Kinect. All the focus went to Kinect, and they were making all these shitty Kinect games. Meanwhile, PlayStation was getting cheaper, and they were starting to come out with better games that were only on PlayStation. We're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles. I agree with that. I agree that he said that. How many people are actually getting a PS5 Pro? It won't be that many. That's a niche thing. I think that's for diehards. But I agree with that. But the problem is, you know, PCs cost more than that, and you have to keep upgrading that. So I think there's always going to be a market for people to play games on consoles. I'm on the rope sticking up. What am I sticking up for? How am I sticking up for Xbox? I've been saying this entire time that I don't like that they're giving up. I don't like that they're putting their games elsewhere. I think that this bothers me. I'm not a fanboy. I'm not going to pick a side. I like all the consoles. People that pick sides, to me, need to grow up. Like, if you're a PlayStation fanboy, an Xbox fanboy, or a Nintendo fanboy, and you talk shit about the other one, you need to grow up. They are all great machines. They all have a place. They're all fun to use. So, like, if I'm Microsoft, and you're wearing Xbox shirts, or you got a Sony sticker on your car, and, like, if you're simping for companies, grow up. It's childish. When I was a kid, we used to argue about what was better, Super Nintendo or Sega. Because we were kids. And that was the marketing. Oh, Mario's for babies. You need to play Sonic. Well, I don't disagree with that. The fanboys now are insane. If you look online at these people arguing what's better, PlayStation or Xbox, I can't believe these people. I can't believe the things they say. But no, I'm not sticking up for anything with Xbox for this. Because me personally, selfishly as a gamer, I like Xbox being out there. I like having Xboxes. I like comparing it to a PlayStation 5. I like getting games for both. Obviously Nintendo in there too. So to me, it's sad if we lose one of those. Because if you lose the Xbox, the PlayStation prices, Sony's going to stick it up your ass. They will. It'd be the same way. If PlayStation went away, Microsoft would do the same thing. They don't have the competition. Large AAA games that aren't made by Nintendo can't really go on Nintendo because the system can't handle it. So for those things, your competition is between PlayStation and Xbox. If you remove one of those, the other one they're gonna raise the prices. So I think it's gonna be bad for PlayStation gamers if Xbox goes away. Because they're going to be spending way more money. But I don't know, guys. If this is an Xbox and this is an Xbox, you don't need an Xbox.